Mention interviews. Let's talk about them because you applied to 10 programs, got 5 interviews, which is awesome. And so where were those 5 places that you schools or programs that you interviewed at? And also tell us a little bit more about the interview day, especially if there's something that was like strange, unique, different questions, environment that you know that you remember that was a little bit different than what you may have thought it was going to be like.
Yeah, so 10 school, I applied to 10, interviewed at 5. The 5 schools that I interviewed at were UIC, so the University of Illinois at Chicago. I applied to Nicholas Children's Hospital in South Florida. I applied to, well, I interviewed at, I'm sorry, these are schools that I interviewed at. I applied to, interviewed at LSU, so in New Orleans, Louisiana State University, University of Florida in Gainesville, Florida, which is my hometown. And then I also interviewed at Case Western in Cleveland, Ohio.
All great programs, all great programs. Anything unusual about the interview day since you were at those five locations? Because I know, we're at a period of time now, at least this past in 2023, where there were some hybrid type of interview days where some programs are only still did virtual, and some went back and started doing some more in personal. So outside of those differences, were there any particular questions you remember during the interview day that may have thrown you off or been like, that was different? I didn't think they gonna ask me that.
Yeah, so that happens a lot with pediatric dentistry. You do get some quirky questions, but it's fun stuff. It's stuff that that relaxes you. Most of my interviews are very conversational. I believe because my first interview was actually UIC. That was a larger interview, very laid back. Well, there were more candidates at the interview because they have more seats for residents there. But I think the weirdest question I'm not gonna say weird, but the most random question may have been someone asked me most of the wildest questions come from residents. For me, I was asked what was my favorite Disney movie, and then the interviewer proceeded to ask me to sing my favorite a theme song from the playlist of the favorite movie. So stuff like that, and other than that, they were really just trying to get to know me. They already have who I am on paper. They know that I'm qualified, and things of that nature. So they're really just trying to get to know me as a person, get a feel of my character, my personality, and stuff like that. Trying to think of another weird question. Oh, another question oftentimes would come up, like if I'm interviewing with other candidates, I was asked to pick candidates I could see as co-residents, like pick your future co-residents. That was a question that I was asked often. Yeah, I think
Now,
those ones that stood out for me.
now that one is I hadn't heard that one before. As far as you know, pick your co-resident. So if you had to pick based on whoever else is interviewing today, who would you like? Which is a test. It's still a test, right? It's a test to see how you are interpreting your environment, things that you're picking up, and if you are actually doing a 180 or 270 around the room and taking in, like, are you present? Right? Are you present right now? That's what I would think of immediately, or at least what I'm thinking about now afterwards, that all right, they're wanting to see more about me and making sure that I am present and observing my environment. Because guess what? As a pediatric dentist, you're going to need to be watching everything. The kids moving and not moving, the dental assistant, the parent that's now coming from around your shoulder and coming over here. You got to be present with all of that, right? So that's an interesting one. The movies, the characters, typical for pedo as well.